By and large, we don't have control of what other people say to us. Their ways can be positive or they can be negative, but it is our choice at the end of the day to process those words. But where it becomes concerning to me is when we say things to ourselves that are putting us down. And don't forget, we are the senders and receivers of the same messages when we speak to ourselves. That is why there's a concept called self talk. And I would like to talk to you about the internal dialogue, the self talk that you have. And let's just examine whether it's something that is assisting you, taking your life forward, or if it's something that is derailing you to achieve your goals. So let's get into it. Let's look at the concept of self-talk. You know, I can ask you a lot of things about what other people said to you. You probably can give me a list of what your teacher said to you that put you down. You can give me a whole notebook of maybe what your mother once said, and you still replay that in your mind. Or you can give me one or two things, probably that some stranger that you met, or a priest, or whoever a person that you believe is of significance in your life said to you, and those words meant something to you. So, either way, whatever other people say to us have got an impact on us. It influences how we think about ourselves, it influences the belief system that we have, and it also influences the actions that we take going forward. So, there is a direct correlation between what we say to ourselves and the things that we achieve. So let's look at the positive side of things. When you look at if you say positive things to yourself, chances are it will help you to achieve your purpose, to achieve your goals. It even goes to the extent of affecting your emotions in the most positive way. And the positive things that you say to yourself also have got the power to heal. But equally so, when we look on the opposite side or the negative side, if you constantly say negative things to yourself, chances are that you will reverse the fortunes that you should be achieving. You will always put yourself down. You will always affect the types of relationships that you have because of how you view yourself and the things that you say to yourself. So it's very, very important that you are cognizant of the message that you send to your brain by the things that you say to yourself. So let's look at a few things around research that speaks to the language that we speak to ourselves. There's research that proves that there's a correlation between how we talk to ourselves and the level of stress and the level of anxiety that we experience. There's also another research that shows that if we constantly criticize ourselves, that affects or diminishes the chances of us achieving our goals. So that tells me that how we speak to ourselves is so potent. It's so potent to make a difference, to help us achieve those things that we want to achieve or to derail the things that we want to achieve. And you are not unique. I'm not unique. All of us, we speak to ourselves. There's a certain cues that we send to ourselves, whether in silence, whether we verbalize them, we always speak to ourselves. And you can say to your friends that I'm okay and I'm doing fine. But when you get to that place I call the pillow, that's when real self-talk starts to happen. Most pillows, if we were able to put a chip in the pillow, and then we're able to download the information that comes from you as you speak to yourself, we will get so much rich information that is going to assist you to change your life to the better. Because, and I don't know why, I'm still looking at research to try and find out as to why in most cases we gravitate towards the negative. But in most cases, what we tell ourselves, it gravitates to the negative. And S.J. White, let me read it here from my notes, in the American Journal of Health System Pharmacy, is quoted as saying, the human mind seems to focus on the negative, and we tend to berate ourselves in ways we would never tolerate from a boss, spouse, or anyone else. And it begs the question, why are we hard on ourselves? Why do we constantly put ourselves down instead of using the language that is going to pick us up? Like I said at the beginning, yes, I know other people will tell us things, but I'm more concerned about the things that you yourself, that you tell yourself, not what other people are saying. Not that it's not important, because people will always tell us something, but what is important is how do you process that information, and how do you interpret it, and do you relive it in your mind from time to time, such that it becomes the gospel truth, even though it might not be true. So let's look at the negative things that most of us tell ourselves. Common ones are, I'm not enough, I don't deserve this, nobody loves me, life is tough. For example, I don't deserve this. Um, I miss everything that I touch. So life is bad, all of those things that we tell ourselves. And you know that the more you tell yourself those things, the more they become real. Because there's a connection between what we say, the thought patterns, the belief system, and how we act. So the more you do those, you say those things to yourself, the more it becomes real in your mind. And there's a saying that says, ask and it shall be given. So you telling yourself negative stuff, it's tantamount to you going to the universe and asking for those things, and they will ultimately happen. Why? Because your your thought system processes it, and then it becomes part of your belief system, and then end up acting upon that. So if you operate on negative self-talk, it is like you having a billboard and or a placard, and you lift it up and you say, written in bold words, everyone else deserves the best but me. So you have already given up in life, and you say, it's not for me, it is for other people. And that is why it is important that you change your self-talk from negative, so that you can be able to change it to the negative, to the positive. And I would just like us to look at a few aspects why it is important for you to focus on positive self-talk. There's a study that was done, the Iranian study in 2020, and that was during the height of COVID. And they realized during that time that people who used a lot of positive self-talk had less anxiety about death and less symptoms of OCD, uh, because of the positive self-talk that they use to themselves. And also sports people. It was also found that because they use affirmations, they speak positively to themselves, it increases their performance. So there is everything positive about using positive self-talk in your life. Now, it begs the question, if these benefits are so good, why then do people always concentrate on negative self-talk? Because like I said, it probably seems to be coming naturally, but then we've got a responsibility to stand up and be alert all the time, so that we can be able to look at things and talk to ourselves in the most positive way we can. So how do we go about to develop this positive self-talk? It starts by understanding your strength. Look at the examples that we have mentioned about what people say negatively towards themselves. I'm not enough. I don't deserve this. So it talks up to you as a person. So you need to understand yourself, understand your strength. And not only understanding your strength, it's also about understanding how you can apply those strengths. So it starts there. If you don't know your strength, you'll always believe that you do not have the capability to do certain things. So for you to have positive self-talk, it starts with identifying your strength. The second part is, which is very difficult, but you always have to be mindful. You always have got to be in the zone to do it, which is catch yourself thinking negatively. But then when you catch yourself thinking negatively, you also have got to counter that negative thought with something that is positive. For example, the world does not like me. For me, the positive talk, countering the fact that the world does not like me, is to say, I like myself. It starts with you. In this era of social media, most of us, we wake up and want to check how many likes we received during the night, how many people responded to our post. And if the numbers are less than what we expected, we feel down. And then that sends a message to us to say, we are not liked, we are not enough, I'm not doing the best as I can. But you don't realize that the fact that you stood up and wrote, let's say, a positive message, that in itself is something positive. So you need to start with yourself first and say, I like myself. So like yourself first before you can expect other people to like you, because you have the beauty that you were born with that is so a gift that has been given to you at when you were born. So catch yourself during that time when things start to be negative, and try to rephrase those things that are negative. For example, I'm not enough. How do you know that you are not enough? You need to challenge those assumptions about you not being enough. Or you say there's not enough out there. But there is so much abundance out there. There is so much abundance out there. You can also check one of the videos I made about abundance, that things are so much enough for all of us. The same, you are enough for yourself and the things that you want to achieve in your life. The other aspect that you can look at is use of affirmations. I've already touched on it. What are those positive mantras that you are going to use to talk positively to yourself? And I'm not saying standing there and just repeating words, I'm big, I'm big, I'm big, I'm positive, I'm positive, I'm positive. No, you need to come up with words that you can pour emotion into, that you definitely believe in, and repeat them to yourself over and over and over. And let me tell you, you are already affirming in inverted commas, but you are affirming the negative things by saying, I'm not enough. And when, like I said, when you ask, it shall be given. When you say, I'm not enough, it's been given to you. But when you use positive affirmations and you say, I'm enough, I deserve a better life, you will start to see that your thoughts and your belief system will start to change. But it will not change and when you doubt the things that you are saying. You cannot sell a product that you don't believe in. The person that you are selling to is going to see through you. So you are the product to whom you are selling. So when you do your affirmations, make sure that you believe in those affirmations. You put emotions into positive emotions into those affirmations. And then you start acting the things that you are affirming to yourself on a daily basis. So it's very, very important. I mean, personally, before I go to a stage or even before I speak to you here, there are certain things that I affirm to myself because they give me positive energy, and I start believing in myself before I can come and talk to you or before I can talk to an audience. Now, most importantly, go out and create a list of things that you have achieved. There are a lot of things that you have achieved, but you put yourself down and you believe that you are not enough. And that's where imposter syndrome comes in. Because you say, contrary to this evidence that is in front of me, it is not because of my efforts. It is because of external circumstances that I have achieved certain things. So you don't give credence to the things that you have achieved. So it's important for you to look at your successes equally so as you would look at your strengths. Look at your successes. Create that list of your successes so that you can be able to develop positive language about yourself. And most importantly, go back and challenge these assumptions. When you say, I'm not enough, who is enough? Why are they enough? If you say you are not enough, how did you know that you are not enough? What is the counter evidence to that aspect? So it is important that we listen to ourselves. What is it that we say to ourselves? Catch ourselves in the moment and change those things around. Because the amount of energy that you're using to tell yourself negative things is the amount of energy that you could be using to tell yourself positive things. And ultimately, if you tell yourself positive things, your world will become even much better. So language is not, the words we say to ourselves are not existing in a vacuum. They've got impact. And as we have mentioned from the research, whether it's the Iranian study and other forms of research that have proven that there's a correlation between there's a correlation, and there's also evidence that positive self-talk improves how we deal with obstacles. It improves how we feel about our bodies. It improves stress management. It improves our well-being. And that is where we need to leverage and make sure that our lives become better and we are able to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. Please, if you like the content, click on this link, subscribe, and help us grow and help us to also share this knowledge, because if one person is better and then the other person becomes better, we all become better and we change our situations to the best, and everybody gains in the process. Until the next post, I thank you.